Hey guys, what's going on? This is Otter here. I'm gonna try and catch up on some community casts. I've got like 10 of them, I think, 8 to 10. And instead of doing a separate video for each of them, I'm gonna do a smorgasbord of community casts all in one video. If I'm on top of my game, I will eventually add in the timestamps so you can jump to whichever one interests you. But if you want to come along for the ride, that's cool too. So I'm going to jump into the replays. What you see here, I've just listed them. CC stands for Community Cast, and then to the right is the name of whoever submit the cast to me here. I'm trying to get organized a little bit. So I've got casts from Time Lord, Beaver, Meme Engineer, Roko, and more and more Beaver. So I'm going to just go in order. We'll hop them open. I haven't seen all of them. I just time is of the essence for me. So we're going to have to just go with things on the fly. So in this matchup, it looks like we have Waya Beaver and Demoguard against Wood Elf and Dwarf. Sorry, I didn't catch who those players were, but maybe I can check after we get through this replay, and I will remind you of that. I'm gonna try and just do this in one cast because I got a lot of stuff to do, but I'm eager to get this content up and on the website so that you can move along with your day. You can sleep at night because I know that would be hard otherwise. Okay, so what do we have here? Chosen of the Gods, Ushapti, Ushapti, Ushapti. So Tomb King with 4 Ushapti units, definitely looking for that high armor pen specialist anti-large sniping ability. They will be able to melt the Firebark Elders. I don't think they're going to get enough value against Spears and War Dancers, but I could be wrong. Over here we have Dark Elves. There's the 2 Manticores up in the sky with the Dark Lord repeated crossbow. Sorceress hidden very sneakily behind the rocks. Some nice tactics there. There's Archon the Black on a chariot, a couple of dwarf cannons and Trollhammer torpedoes, bolt thrower, organ gun, and regular slayers in the back. The Grumbrindle. Grumbrindle is probably my favorite dwarf lord. Over here, we got some shots coming into the Witch Elves. Probably it would have been better to lead with the Dread Spears, maybe soak some of that damage. And it looks like I think Beaver is playing the Dark Elf. He's decided to pull back the Witch Elves, let the Dread Spears push in first. We'll see if that helps. Argon the Black has summoned a unit of Skelly Wars. I think Argon the Black probably should have been a little bit more active in just pinballing along the front line, trying to interrupt the advance. That could have given a little bit more time for the Dwarf Cannons to shoot at distance. And I noticed that the Dark Elf and the Wood Elf front line were able to advance relatively unobstructed from their deployment zone to start harassing things. And you can see already the Dark Riders with repeated crossbows are getting in, taking some really nice shots at the Goblobber and at the organ gun. So I will expect these Rangers probably to want to square up and push them off a little bit. I think this is why you need that under approach with the Dwarves. You got to make sure you push out your front line. You can't just turtle up if you're going to bring artillery, because otherwise it can just get sniped. That's certainly what we're seeing here. It looks like Grombrindle's been inactive. Why Beaver is taking advantage of that. Looks like they're going to get in some nice charges there with the Manticores. Hopefully they're not going to rage in this unit of Slayers. That would be very painful for the Manticores. I expect that Beaver's going to pull them out ASAP. Over here, we have the Firebark Elders anchoring the front line. They are fighting in spears, but I don't think that will be any problem for them with their very high melee defense and the very low melee attack of the other spears. Orion is also just buffing his front line and kind of anchoring things there. Nice chosen, Ushapti summon is going in the back line. I expect they're going to try and put in a rear charge or go chase his archers. No, it looks like there's the rear charge. Not a ton of great targets for them, to be perfectly honest. I mean, charging these Shopti into spears is certainly not where they want to go. I think the Wood Elves they have the right tools to deal with this Tomb King army, but we shall see. Over here, the War Dancers have gotten into the Bolt Thrower, so that's going to be really nice here. Those Fair Manticores that we were watching earlier, it looks like they've escaped, and Grombrindle is going to be positioning over here, but all of the Dwarf artillery is taken offline, and even though the balance bar is still showing is dead even, you have to think that the Wood Elves and the Dark Elves are starting to shift things in their favor. Over here, War Dancers getting caught up in Slayers. That's going to be very cost effective for the War Dancers. Of course, the War Dancers are going to suffer some damage here as well, especially with the support of Grombrindle, but taking those Slayers off the field is going to open up a lot of real estate, and you can look and see that the Dark Elf forces are completely pushing through the front lines now of the Dwarfs, and once they get the Witch Elves in here on the shooting and on the Slayers, it's going to be GG for the Dwarfs. Over here, the Ushapti with Great Bows, looks like they're having to fight. I don't know what has happened to Archon the Black. Apologies for not catching that. Perhaps Spirit Leech and other things have taken him out of the fight. Oh no, there he is. He's still here. Looks like he's caught up in some Firebark Elder, so not able to be cycle charging with his chariot as perhaps he would like to be. He is going to summon some more skeleton warriors, so I guess he has been active enough to get that additional summon up. But the challenge I have with his skeleton summons, it takes a really long time to get them, and usually I'm only getting 1 or 2 summons per battle, maybe 3 if I'm lucky. And I with the nerf to the summons, I don't know if it carries the same value that it once did. But anyway, the Ushopti are still shooting, and I guess that's really the point. And they'll do okay, I guess, against Eternal Guard with the support of Archon. Over here, some nice rear charges coming in from the Dark Elves, just trying to free up some more resources. Once these Norgrim Ironbreakers Slayers are gone, then all of the Dark Elf front lines can be able to push through. The Shades are providing Overwatch Fire, just chipping down these expensive Dwarven infantry. And yeah, I think at this point, because we have a lot to get through, we can probably fast forward here. I think we know which direction this battle is trending. Orion's going to go in here, give the Chosen of the Gods a business. Archon the Black looks like he's just going to get sniped out, harassed by Manticores. And then Grombrindle, he just got punched in the face by a Deathcaster, I think, which is kind of an ignominious way for the White Dwarf to go, but c'est la vie. So yeah, I'm not even going to watch the rest of this. I think we saw enough there, but good game to both players. Nice try, Demogod. I think maybe a little bit too heavily invested in the shot through the great bows. They would have been great for individual entities, like if they were shooting at the Manticores, if they were shooting at the Dreadlord with the sort of crossbow. That's where I think, or cavalry, they would have gotten a lot of value there. But against so here MR Defender was playing well. So against what MR Defender brought, there were not a lot of great targets for the shot through the great bows. I mean, maybe they could have shot the Hawk Riders. Maybe they could have shot Orion, but he's pretty tanky. They could have shot the Firebark Elders for sure, but I think there would have been maybe a few more. Yeah, I don't know. Just unfortunate army select, I think, there for Demogod. Oh, it looks like Scythian was playing the Dwarfs there. So Scythian, I think, if you're watching this at any point in time, my recommendation would be to try and push out your infantry a little bit more. If you're too tight to your artillery, then you're not going to be able to screen it out effectively, and then that mid-range shooting, from Beaver there, is going to be able to get, like from the Dark Riders repeat crossbows and the Shades, is going to be able to just shoot up your artillery faster than your artillery can shoot back, basically. So yeah, I hope you enjoy that replay. We're going to hop right into the next one. Well played to both players there, and I think really that game, in my opinion, came down to the army select. I think that the Beaver and MR Defender brought the right tools to deal with that, and I think the Tomb Kings and the Dwarfs, I think they needed to do a little bit more to interrupt the advance of the infantry, because what you saw is the infantry all had arrived at the same time on the front line rather than in bits and pieces. And if you're going to bring a shooting army that's stationary, you want to be fighting bits and pieces at a time while you shoot down the rest. So we got another game here. Beaver, I didn't catch the Vamps and the Dark Elf, but I don't know. We'll see on the end screen. Versus Unlucky Zombie. Okay, Toothgrass Hill. What do we have here? Okay, so Toothgrass Hill is a map that I really like because it's got some interesting terrain. You got the big hill here, you got some woods on the other side. You can play it in a few different ways, but I am starting to see a little bit of a meta crystallize on this map, and that is as follows. You put your shooting sort of in this corner. You use the two woods to screen out on the side, and then you shoot up on the hill, and that can be very effective. But if your opponent is expecting it, sometimes it can cause some issues too. Actually, I saw this replay already. It was a fun replay to watch. I think, don't quote me, I think Beaver's playing with Hermit on this one as the Vampire Coast, and then they're playing as two people who we didn't know on the Wood Elves. So there's a bit of a slow start to this game. It's because this is one I have actually seen. What you're going to see early on is some Giselles are going to take beat the brakes off these Shade Wraith Gunners, so it's kind of an expensive loss there. I think the moral of the story here would be probably keep the Shade Wraith Gunners back a little bit if you can. Maybe they were trying to take out this Repeater Bolt Thrower, which pushed out way too far, I think, and is probably going to be punished for that. has a range of 350, and the Shadow Warriors have a range of 180. So it's not benefiting from that range because there's no screen in front of it. So that's a sort of an unnecessary loss there. Warlock Giselles have range 300. The Shade Wraith Gunners have a range of 245. So it does look like, yeah, if they wanted to contest the Warlock Giselles, they would have to move into range there, and I guess he is being aggressive with them. But the Warlock Giselles, they do have the shields. Shade Wraith Gunners do not. So in a trade, and just because I think Warlock Giselles are probably overpowered, the Warlock Giselles are going to win, and that's what you're seeing here. Plus, it looks like because there's 1, 2, 3 of them that are able to shoot in, they can focus fire down the Shade Wraith Gunners, and that's going to be a painful loss. So sorry for talking about that so much, but yeah, an unnecessary loss here from the Dark Elves. Perhaps they didn't realize that it was on. They probably put it not on guard mode, and it pushed up farther than they had anticipated. I've made that mistake several times myself because I tend not to bring artillery as Dark Elves, so understandable mistake there, but unfortunate one for the Dark Elves. So some early shots here going into the Sorceress of Death. So that's an interesting choice here. If you're going to shoot Crone Hellebron, Sorceress of Death, or maybe these Dark Shards. These Dark Shards have shields. I think the Sorceress not a bad choice because I think people don't really expect it. And the Sorceress, she doesn't have a shield, so that's pretty cool. Nice stuff here that they are not, I guess, trying to focus on the War Hydra too much. Actually, I probably wouldn't charge the Hydra with the Illyrian Reavers. I don't think that's going to go well for the Illyrian Reavers, but maybe it was just because they wanted to follow up with the Fireborn. In that case, that's not such a bad tactic. Probably it was just for the snare and to snare it away from the spear. So yeah, good stuff there out of Beaver. I think Beaver is playing the High Elves here. So these Illyrian Reavers, it looks like they were trying to soften up these Skaven slaves and maybe pull them out of position. It did open up a gap here. Even though the Illyrian Reavers did die, what you see is there's now a route into the back line potentially, and into disrupting the shooting. Over here, the Hydra and the Fireborn were dishing it out. Some spears are going to come in, and it looks like the Fireborn are going to try and get in another charge here, which is really nice. If you can take the Hydra off of the field early on, that opens up a lot of opportunities in this midline fight. So I think the Dark Elves, I mean, they had basically a Deathball build. They had the Hellebron, they had the Hydra. I mean, if you keep the Hydra and Hellebron together, you can kind of push them wherever the fuck you want as a group, right? And then you want to use these Cold One Dread Knights to sort of countercharge the large. So they are going to get on the Night Terrors with the support of the Spears, Hellebron, and Crone. That's going to be an easy win for them. But they could have also used those Cold One Dread Knights to fight the Fireborn and to really protect the Hydra. So over here, we do see a purple sun coming down on some Skaven slaves and slingers. It looks like that was not an ideal use of Winds of Magic because these are probably worth 200 gold, and you're probably spending 18 to 20 Winds of Magic or more on Purple Sun of Xerius, so I'm not sure if value is being netted there. Over here, these Rattling Gunners are just going to town on the Sirens and this Deathcaster. Very, very painful stuff there. Absolutely erased. And so that there's a couple units that are kiting here from the Scurvy Dogs, a couple more units that are able to fire. I do like the Scurvy Dog pick, and it's a very nice micro there out of Hermit to get them back in here and into these Gunners. And you don't have to kill them, you just have to prevent them from shooting for a little while to release some of the pressure on your front line. Over here, some Storm Vermin with Halberds and some Plague Monk could have been used to go and intercept these Scurvy Dogs. It looks like the Skaven player's micro was being taxed a little bit here, probably because of the presence of Illyrian Reavers. And I'm not sure, yeah. Over here, the Hydra, it did rally, but these Illyrian Reavers and the Fireborn are going to charge and make sure that it doesn't come off the field. It doesn't come back to the fight. Probably the Illyrian Reaver should have stuck it on him earlier, but it did shatter, and no harm done there for the High Elves. They were able to correct for that potential mistake. And now things are looking a little bit tougher for the Dark Elves. Balance Bar is trending in the favor of the Skaven and the Dark Elves. They still have a lot of healthy units on the field, and there is a lot of... there is a lot of shooting that is still online, and vampires have been essentially depleted right now. Over here, there is not very much infantry left. I'm trying to look and see what the vampire leadership situation is at. I did see, I think one of their... I think we saw the fleet captain get sniped off by these Rattling Gunners, but a little payback here. Scurvy Dogs are going to get into them, and they'll do... okay, chipping them away, right? If they can get them to break, then I think the Storm Vermin with Halberds might have a hard time keeping up speed-wise. We shall see. Death Runners are sort of in an atrocious trade with these deckhand mob. Not the greatest stuff here, but some Deck Gunners are going to be putting in some pot shots into these Halberds and Skrolk. Over here, Hellebrand is going to town in this infantry blob, but definitely does not want to be fighting in the Keepers of the Flame. This is the most elite anti-large unit in the game. So Hellebrand is, even though she's super good at dealing with infantry blobs, this is the one infantry blob she probably doesn't want to be fighting in. These are buffed with Shield of Thorn, buffed with Star of Avalorn. They have the support of Valerial. There's a Noble who's over here. So that combo is 100% going to kill Hellebrand, and it's going to be a very painful and unnecessary loss for Hellebrand. Hellebrand should be sitting in her infantry, supporting the fight against the White Lions here. So very nice stuff from Beaver to recognize that and take this very expensive, very important unit off the field. And because of that, I think the balance bar is creeping back. Oh, there's a Vampire Fleet Captain who's still alive, so I think we saw maybe a Deathcaster get deleted earlier, but this one is still going strong. And the Scurvy Dogs did work. They took off a lot of units. They pulled some resources away. So Skaven has been split up a little bit. They have they don't have that tight formation that they once had. Skrolk is over here a little bit out on his lonesome. I'm not sure why he's being so brave here. We are seeing a chill wind come down from the Sorceress of Death, disrupting the Shadow Warriors. It's not going to do a whole lot because they are in skirmish formation. And really the chill wind is more of a snare. And there's nothing to follow up that snare that's been used. So I'm not 100% sure what was trying to be accomplished there. Maybe it was just the guy figured he's going to lose his caster, so might as well get something out before it goes to waste. Hellebrand is still going strong here, but she's probably not long for this world, fighting against the Noble. Where are the Fireborn? How are they doing? Are they grinding it out in here? Oh, it looks like they've been chased around by some Blackguard. So yeah, very close game. Still too early to call. There's some fairly intact high elf forces here, but it looks like martial mastery and martial prowess is probably dropped on most of these units. So it's going to be a little bit of an uphill climb for the high elves. And balance bar is trending pretty heavily in the favor of Skaven players and Dark Elves now. So we'll see if they can turn this around. I think it looks like the Shadow Warriors are shooting in on these Plague Monks. Not a bad target. They're pretty lightly armored. But maybe I would try and snipe out Skrolk or Hellebrand first and just try and take the leadership off the field. Especially Skrolk, because he's kind of unarmored and he's a pain in the ass to kill any other way. To be honest, I hate trying to melee Skrolk. So shooting him might not be the worst decision in the world. You can't heal either, so there's that. It looks like Crone Hellebrand is being chased off the map. I don't know if there's any light cavalry that can escort her. Oh, looks like there are the Illyrian Beavers. They did try and go ASAP, so Beaver's working on that. He's also trying to micro these Fireborn and keep them online. Not much left for the Vampire Counts. Just this Fleet Admiral of the Deep. There's a charge that will break the Crone's back, I guess, is the expression that is trendy in the high elf world right now. But yeah, a complete collapse of the high elf front line with the leadership not there, and because it had been pulled back to deal with Hellebrand. There's really only the Keepers of the Flame who are left, and they're going to fight to the bitter end. But there is some rank 5 Blackguard here who are going to trade evenly probably with the Keepers of the Flame. I mean Keepers of the Flame very elite, but they're depleted. Blackguard's very healthy. Looks like Alariel and the Noble are going to get caught up here, and I think there's not too much left. We are going to see some cool Lore of the Deep stuff going down from this Vampire Fleet Admiral, but he just doesn't have infantry support and he doesn't have summons, which is why I think the Lore of the Deep is probably the weakest lore you can bring for the Vampire Coast. Which is unfortunate because it's a cool one. It's their unique lore. But yeah, I think at this point we can see which way the game is trending. So I'm going to hit the fast forward here because we got a lot of other replays to get into. And we want to keep it feisty. Some nice recharges there from Beaver getting into the Blackguard. But they are pretty stalwart. And with the support of all this other Skaven stuff, I think it's going to be too little too late. But super fun. Great replay. Great map, very beautiful, very cinematic, and well played to Beaver and Hermit. Hermit's one of the newer members of our community, so great to see him getting in here and getting his hands dirty. I'm gonna end this replay and we're gonna hop on to the next one. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we got another one here. Me and Hermit. So I guess Beaver has just been practicing and trying to show Hermit some of the ropes. So cool stuff. Thanks for doing that. And we got Lewin and Klanskaya. This is going to be a long video. But we'll move right along. Okay, so on the far side, we have two Manticores. We have Dreadlord, Sword and Crossbow. We've got Dark Riders with repeated crossbow. I guess Litimus, aka Beaver, aka King Louis Vuitton, is playing the Dark Elves, and then probably Hermit is playing Norska. Cool stuff. Wulfric the Wanderer on a small mount, which is, or not even on a mount, on foot. Good choice there. And then you've got Shaman Sorcerer. I like the foot choice because it means less likely going to get sniped against what is clearly a very shooty-centric army in Skaven and in the Empire. So over here we've got Demigris, and Mr. Karl Franz himself, but no heals for Franz, which is usually a mistake, unless the Jade Caster is hidden in the forest back here and I just haven't seen him. The Skinwolves and the Norseman Warhounds are going to want to not fight the demis there, especially with the support of the spears. You can see that that one charge there just completely erased that unit. So certainly not the fight that they want to be taking. They should have been kiting. On the other hand, perhaps this one unit is going to sneak past. It's gonna, and if the Skinwolves can not lose too many unit models and maybe escape and heal up, it could be okay. Karl Franz is going to come up here and interrupt, and I think it will be we have to see if Hermit just force passed his way through Karl Franz. It looks like he did that successfully. So if they take out the Hellstorm rocket battery, or oh no, they didn't. He didn't force pass. So you look, because the one unit model got stuck on Karl Franz. The Wolves are going to change their mind, go back and kite Karl Franz, and that's very punishing because that could have been a really, really nice pickup. And that's why you always want to watch out for interrupts from individual entities. You want to just push past that shit and get right into the shooting. On the other side, though, King Louis Vuitton, aka Beaver, he's gotten into the Warlock Giselles, so nice shutdown over here. And the Dreadlord Sword Crossbow is doing okay. Also, he's getting some support here from some Skin Wolves who are going to absolutely massacre, I think, the Rat Ogres and some of these other things. So nice stuff here. Witch Elves are going to probably try and sneak around here. The Dark Riders, I would have liked to see the Witch Elves active a little bit earlier here. Probably Beaver's micro is a bit taxed. So remember those Norscan Warhounds? Because Karl Franz interrupted them, they just got shot off the map. The artillery was able to fire at will, and things are looking very bleak for Norska over here. So Demigryphs are defensive cavalry. They're not going to chase you around the map, but they're going to try and stop you from getting to their back line. So the Empire player did that very, very successfully here. And if you are the Norscan player, what you want to do is you want to try and bait the demis to go out of position. So you want to go here with the Skin Wolves, you want to get them to chase you, and then if you can find a gap, then you're going to want to skirt around them back and get into that artillery. It looks like a, what's this, burning head that's going to go down here? Pretty cool, but not a whole lot. I could follow that up. They'll do okay on the spears. You could have dropped it across this front line too, honestly, with all the flagellants and spears. Maybe it would have done just as well over there. Who knows? So this is really a tale of two flanks. On the one side, it looks like the Dark Elves are able to run over the Skaven pretty well, although there's a Manticore rampaging Council Guard, which is unfortunate for them. But on the other flank, it looks like Norska is all but defeated by Empire. So we will see if the Dark Elves, which are relatively healthy, are going to be able to rotate over and assist here. Keep in mind, the Dark Elves, you know, they won this flank, but they are getting support from Hermit, who's sent over 2 units of Skin Wolves. So that's a significant portion of his army. So it's sort of no surprise that this flank is being won because there's more resources devoted to this flank. Maybe what should have happened is Norska should have just backed up or you know, retreated because it didn't have enough. It wasn't a fair fight, let's say, against the Empire because the 2 units of Skinwolves were commit over here. Had the 2 units of Skinwolves been there with the 2 units of Norscan Warhounds and the other 2 units of Skinwolves, maybe they could have taken on the Demigryph Knights and won that fight, and that would have opened up all kinds of opportunities over here. But instead, because he's helping out clear out these Rat Ogres, you know, that was not a fight that the other units were going to be able to win. So we're starting to see a pretty big shift in the balance bar here. It looks like some of these Warlock Giselles who had been decimated earlier have regrouped, but the Glacier Plague is on his last legs. Dreadlord is still relatively healthy. It looks like Wulfric is about to bite the bullet here. Karl Franz is going to be escorting him off the field with the Spearman shields because he has no infantry left, but he fought the good fight and kept Empire busy for a while, and he's currently keeping Carl Franz busy as well. Bounce Force creeping back though. The Witch Elves got into these Warlock Giselles because there was no screen there, and because the Plague Priest is routing, that could really hurt the scheme leadership. Now, if I'm Dark Elves, I want to make sure that I have sent something to escort this off the field. Probably my Dreadlord would be the right choice for that, or the Sorceress would be a pretty good choice as well. So yeah, what you don't want happening is this guy rallying, Unholy Clamor, Arcane Conduit. That's going to be a problem because that's going to give him probably access to additional summons and such. There's a Burning Head that goes down here. It looks like maybe a tag the Witch Elves a little bit. I'm not too sure. And I don't know who dropped that Burning Head, but looks like Wulfric was able to rally. Carl Franz coming back over here to try and secure his shooting. The Hellstorm rocket battery just ran out of ammo. Perhaps it was, I don't know what it was shooting at there, but Dreadlord is going to be able to snipe down at this guy. As long as he can stay out of range of the handgunners, the combo of the Sorceress of Death and the Dreadlord is going to cause a lot of problems for the Empire here. So really cool stuff going on. Meanwhile, the Demigryph Knights are off gallivanting into some shades and Dark Rise with Repeater Crossbow. There's the Blackguard here, so I think the Blackguard needs to be sent over there to support the shades. Blackguard plus Skinwolves will beat the brakes off of the Demigryph with Knights. The trick will just be trying to keep them snared here. On the other hand, Carl Franz is going down. If Wulfric, Franz, I mean, honestly, you could probably just fight Carl Franz in melee now. You've got 4 heroes versus 1, right? You've got the Shaman Sorcerer, you've got Dreadlord, you've got Wulfric, and you've got the Sorceress of Death. So I would go in and just fight him. And I think this is sometimes a mistake people make. They waste a lot of time just shooting down and being perhaps a little bit too safe. I know Carl Franz is a strong duelist and he can do damage, but like, get him off the field. He's wavering. Like, you probably don't even have to fight him. Look at his leadership. He's gonna just break as soon as you touch him. So yeah, that would be my recommendation there. But you know, if you got a Repeater Crossbow and you're feeling cool, up in the air, why not do it? They really have no answer to him other than these handgunners. Looks like the handgunners had rotated around to deal with the Witch Elves. Harpies are into the Sunmaker, but Sunmaker's irrelevant now. They probably should be going into the handgunners. But over here, the Blackguard and Skinwolves. You remember the Demigryph Knights? They got caught out from the Blackguard and Skinwolves. They're getting beaten off and they're being chased off the field. Looks like I don't know. Maybe these Skinwolves are what finished off the Plague Priest over there. So Balance Fire has swung again. This has been a really back and forth fight, very close, intense battle, but a couple of costly mistakes I think have really shifted the tides. So I think number one is Carl Franz didn't have access to a healer, so he got shipped down from the Dreadlord and the Deathcaster damage over time. Number two, they were unable to rout off Wulfric the Wanderer. Number three, they didn't have any light cav to deal with these Skinwolves, right? These armored Skinwolves, they just keep healing and coming back and healing and coming back. And as long as they have unit models, they're going to cause a lot of nuisance. Number four is the Skaven leadership is off the field. So I think at this point, it's just a question of cleaning up the Flagellant. I think the Shades with dual weapons are out of ammo, but cycle charging from Skinwolves and the rest of the Dark Elf infantry should be able to, I think, break off the rest of the troops. So I'm going to fast forward. We're going to take a quick peek here, and then I want to jump into the next replay ASAP. Yeah, so the Shades going in there with dual weapons. They're going to cut up Flagellant's okay. I mean, it's going to be atrocious, but not too bad. How does this play out? Wulfric is in there with the spears. Can he win? It was a close fight, man. It was a close fight. He was really low on HP, but in the end, he's going to keep wandering. Very well played. It was a pleasure. Oh, Franz rallied, but I don't think it matters. Let's just, for the sake of completion, let's watch his demise. There he goes. I think he got sniped out of the air. Fun stuff. I love this Dreadlord with the Repeater Crossbow. He's pretty cool. So nicely done to Beaver and Hermit. You guys won a game, you lost a game. I like when people submit replays of both varieties, so it's not too predictable what the outcome of the game is going to be. Moving on, we got a 1v1, Beaver versus Manag, playing the Empire. Probably this was a quick battle, I don't know. Menagu. But Dark Elf Empire is always a fun matchup to watch. Not a ton of armor. It tends to require that the Dark Elf player uses a lot of mobility. You've got Clearly, the Dark Elves have the advantage in close combat fight. But yeah, interesting stuff here. Look at how wide that Beaver has gone here. It looks like he's trusting that he's going to have the mobility advantage. So there are some Pistoliers here, and they are the Conductor Scream. I just want to pause for a minute here. So look at how the Pistoliers are positioned. They're positioned in the front line, and I want to talk about positioning of Skirmish Cav and how to get the most value out of them. So Skirmish Cav are good in the front line if you expect your opponent to have shooting. So if the Dark Elves had a lot of repeater bolt throwers or I don't know, things like that, then putting a screen of Pistoliers wouldn't have been a bad option, because it could bait out some shots, and then the Pistoliers could have they could have basically kited back and forth and try and bait out some ammo and prevent the or maybe trick some newer players from shooting in at more expensive stuff in the rear. But instead of but if you put them here, right, your fallback position is going to be like this. And if you're falling back towards your artillery, then that means that whoever's attacking you he can push all of his forces in the same direction, towards your skirmishers and towards your artillery. Where the Dark Elves want to end up is right here. And so if you're running your skirmishers back towards where the Dark Elves want to end up, you're making it easy for them. Now, if you are instead deploy your skirmishers on the flanks like this, and then you're falling back like this, now Beaver has to make a decision. He says, okay, do I want to push towards the artillery, or do I want to chase off these annoying skirmishers? The correct answer to that, in my opinion, is you always want to be pushing towards the artillery, and you want to ignore the skirmishers. But a lot of people will take that bait, and they will chase these Pistoliers and devote a lot of resources to going off to the side. And if you can siphon resources off to the side of the map, then that means that there's not going to be as much pressure hitting around the front and here, and that means that the artillery should be safer. So it's sort of a pressure release. But I'm just fast forward there. Sorry for talking so much, but I think it's a key consideration when you're talking about the Dark Elf versus Empire matchup. So the Pistoliers, I mean, I think they could probably take the fight with the Dark Riders with repeater crossbows. So I don't know why they were being so safe and sitting back, especially in a 3-1. I mean, these Pistoliers should be able to erase these Dark Riders with repeater crossbows. If we look at the damage, these guys have 38 missile damage versus only 23 missile damage of the Dark Riders with repeater crossbows. That's why Pistoliers are very, very strong counter, I think, to Dark Riders with repeater crossbows. If you look at the range, you've got a range of 80 versus a range of 115, but the Dark Riders with repeater crossbows have to be stationary. The Pistoliers can shoot and kite and do all kinds of crazy stuff. Cool stuff here. Dark Riders with repeater crossbows screening out the Pistoliers. I think that the Dark Pistoliers probably could have just taken that fight, honestly. They had the Demigross right next door. They could have... they've got the Flagellants to deal with the Spears, Demis. They had Karl Franz or Boris Todbringer here. They could have just taken that fight, I think. But they chose not to. Pistoliers, I guess, are going to go shoot some Pharaoh Manticores. Not a bad decision. Nice play there. Over here we have Helibroni going up against Sigmar's Sons. So that's going to be... an interesting fight there. I don't know who's going to come out on top. It looks like the Sigmar Sons are probably, they're probably better there. Even though it's ROR, it's not really meant for fighting frontline infantry. Dreadlord is, what is he shooting at? The Demis? I would be shooting at the Demis, personally. No, he's shooting at Boris. He's a tricky one because he's got a lot of heals, and I don't think you're going to be able to chip him down over time with the Dreadlord. I would probably just try and get rid of those Demi unit models, but I guess he's being a nuisance. The Pharaoh Manticore chasing around Boris, though, is a really good choice. Better choice would be if you can take off the Jade Wizard. Like, you know what? I would have Dreadlord shooting the Jade Wizard if I could manage that, because he's going to do a lot more damage there. Because Boris does have... does he have shield? No, he doesn't have shield, but he does have 85 armor and self-heals. So, yeah. Over here, 2 Manticores going up against the Royal Orthodox Griffites plus Boris. That was a really nice move by the Empire to bring those Manticores over to the skirmishers. They are rampaging now in the All-Dark Griffites. This could be very, very atrocious for them. So nice pickup by the Empire player. But Balance Bar is starting to trend in the favor of the Dark Elves. It looks like the front line has been very thin for the Empire, and it looks like there's the cannon in the back here, but maybe not online for so much longer. Harpies are screening and providing overwatch, and the Jade Wizard did get broken off there. Kobold Knights did get into the Royal Arctic Griffites, and Witch Elves are going to pin the Alt-Dark Griffites here, so that is absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. I don't know what the Kobold Knights are going to be doing here, but these Flagellants need to be in here dealing with the Witch Elves. That is a very costly mistake, because if the Witch Elves are able to freely attack the Griffites, that can be a problem for them. So Harpies have gotten tied up in some spears here. It seems like it's a bad thing. I guess the Jade Wizard is trying to pull out, but Harpies can do okay against spears. Obviously, you want to be taking this out. So you see that Beaver switched his Dreadlord onto the Jade Wizard. That is the right decision. And look at it. Look at that damage. It's just adding up, chipping away. Boris is still at full health and just being the nuisance that he is as an OP Lord. Deathcaster is maybe a little bit too far back here. I think that probably Beaver just forgot about her, honestly. It could have been useful, I guess, against the Altdorf Griffites or the Jadecaster. Got to be careful here, though. The Harpies and the Dreadlord are being shot by these Pistoliers. That damage is going to be painful. But yeah, Shades shooting in on Boris here. Got Witch Elves, what's left of them, just preventing him from kiting and fighting. Blackguard and Greatswords are giving each other the business. Greatswords would trade cost effectively with that, but the Blackguard are relatively healthy, and they're still pretty good fighters, so they're probably going to win here. Nice charge there. I like to see that. I think it's really important to know when you can charge and when you can't charge with your Dreadlord through repeated crossbow, because he's not the worst melee combatant. I mean, obviously he's not a meter duelist, but he can certainly beat the crap out of a Jade Wizard on a horse. And with Boris over here tied up with the Witch Elves, he's not able to help out, and getting that off the map is going to be nice. I will say, if you are going to go with Boris, Boris is sort of like a debuff self-heal Lord. He doesn't necessarily need the Jade Wizard. He's going to probably reach his healing cap most games anyways, as he has done here. And I think that you're better off going with like a Beast Caster to just get Manticore summons or other things to support Boris in the air and let you go a little bit wider. I think what you saw here is that the Dark Elves just kind of got too wide. Interesting that, Beaver played a very disciplined game and sort of didn't overcommit to taking the Great Cannon offline. I'm not entirely sure what the Great Cannon was shooting at, but I don't feel like it was a factor in this fight. If the Great Cannon had been sniping out the Dreadlord, maybe that could have made a difference. Okay, so Beaver's been trying to convince me that this magic missile is the way to go. I don't know. I mean, it's in this case it took out one artillery piece, so maybe it has some value there, but it's so late in the game it didn't even matter. Anyway, this one's done. Nicely played to Beaver. That was cool. 1v1 matchups. I love that stuff. Starting to lose my voice here, but I guess it's going to take us to the end screen. I mean, yeah, Deathcaster was sort of a non-factor most of that. I think just if you're going against the Empire, taking out the Jade Wizard and the Demis, those are the key units. That's the linchpin of the defense. That's what can cause a problem. I guess, okay, I should correct myself. I guess he brought the Jade Wizard to heal the Demis, not so much to heal Boris. If that was the rationale, then I guess that's good reasoning, because the Royal Arctic Griffites are very, very expensive. I think, yeah, I don't know. It was just a well-played game for both players. We're going to move on. Cheese doesn't work from Beaver. We got Greenskins versus Dark Elves. Cheese is a very contentious issue. Some people have different opinions on this. Ooh. 6 black orcs, which is, I believe, the limit that you can bring. A couple chevrons and some heavy cavalry. It's a very orcish build versus Beaver again. Probably this is a quick battle match. We're gonna fast forward at the beginning. I think you've seen Beaver's army a few times now. He's been, I guess, experimenting with the Dreadlord, Sword Crossbow, and the Deathcaster. It can be very effective against certain armies. Against Greenskins, this is one of them. So you're going to see the Shades opening up on these Black Orcs. Let's see, are they in skirmish mode, or are they going to take that charge to the face? Because they certainly don't want to be taking that. Yeah, they're going to take that right to the face with the Biggins and the Black Orcs. So that's very painful. So I think the way that we're going to see this go is the Dark Elf front line is going to get run over. And likely their cav is going to get run over too here, unless they turtle up near the Blackguard. But the Greenskin's going to lose their leadership if I have to make a prediction. So over here, Tusk Mob are going to be fighting against the Manticores. Manticore's doing all right here against the Tusk Mob, but Black Orcs, Crimson Killers are here. So interesting that Crimson Killers have gone onto the flank instead of going to the front line. I think Crimson Killers really want to be in the front line because they're kind of slow and they do a lot of damage. So you want to put them in a place where they can't really be kited. And if you put them on the flank, like if he devotes a lot of resources here, sort of bluffs with the Manticore and comes back with the Manticores, it's going to take a while for the Crimson Killers to walk over here and help out. But it looks like they've decided to commit to this fight on the flank. And look at that leadership. Orc Warboss gone right away, terrified from the effect of the Fair Manticore. Dreadlord is going to continue to shoot at him. With no anti-air shooting, Dreadlord is going to have a field day. Just take his time chipping him away. Sorcerer's Death going to go over there and help finish the job. Taking the Greenskin leadership off the field can be very, very important. The Hellbroni are they're just holding the line. They're not going to win this fight, clearly, but they're not making it easy. I don't know, something weird with the pathing here. You'd think that these units would pile in and attack in the rear. Instead, there's like 2 or 3 of them attacking, and the rest are just watching and having to cockpit the tea. Over here, these Orc Boy Biggins are just going to get shot up and escorted off the map by the combo of Dark Rise and Black Arts. Very nice stuff there. Witch Elves are going to rotate over and I guess start helping out with the Black Arcs. So here, Dreadlord has successfully killed this war boss. He did get off one last wog there, but that's pretty much done. Manticores, I think 2 Manticores plus the Dreadlord probably could have killed these Tusk Mob. So I probably would have commit them instead of losing this one Fair Manticore, but yeah. So he's going to start chipping away instead at this other healthy one. Dark Rise getting a nice charge here, but heavy armor and Crimson Killer is not really going to care too much. A lot of shooting. Good thing that I think he had the Shades, because they're going to net him a lot of value in this matchup against slow, heavily armored infantry. Certainly a fortunate pick in this matchup. Had the Greenskin player brought a lot of Savage Orcs, then it's possible the Shades could have been overrun, or Skirmishers, they could have been overrun. But I think this is where you're seeing the value of the balanced build, because the Witch Elves could have responded to that maybe, and the Greenskins, they didn't have anything to deal with the Dreadlord on the Dreadlord crossbow, and they just had too much of the same thing. Plus, they also balled up way too hard on just one unit. They should have been sending, one unit of Black Orcs at the unit of Shades, one other unit of the other Shades. They all got stuck here on the Jet Sphere. So I think what you're seeing here is probably someone who's just maybe testing out quick battles for the first time, learning the ropes of the game. I think maybe against certain armies a heavy Black Orc approach could have been valuable, but certainly not against Beaver, who was able to handle that fairly easily, in my opinion. All right, we're going to go on to a game from Rocco. Nice stuff here, going against DDG Ixcotl in a 1v1. So this is a build I've seen from Rocco a few times. It features 3 Giant Slayers anchoring the backline. The weakness of Rocco's build is he has no anti-air shooting. So if you have anti-air shooting, you can fly over top of him and take out his cannons, take out his lore, take out his Giant Slayers. Rocco, let's be clear, he is not running a balanced build. It has a very, very clear weakness. But the Empire doesn't have access to units that could fly in the air and shoot down. Like, you saw the Dark Rider with repeater crossbow that we had in the previous matchup, or the Raven Heralds, or Hawk Riders. Things like that would cause a nightmare for Rocco's build. But against the Empire, I think he's pretty safe. The question will be who wins the artillery duel, because if Empire brought cannons, which they 100% should have against the Dwarf, and they were able to disable the Dwarven cannons, then that forces Rocco to push out. So interesting that they've deployed super wide, because I guess what you'll see often is Dwarf players, they like to play sort of Death Volley with a Rune Lord. Interesting stuff here. I think this is not even going to be able to fire. Is it obstructed? Because it's literally in a unit. It is firing in the unit of Dwarf Warriors. Interesting. I don't know why it's not obstructed. Did it just blow the head off of some of his dwarfs? No. Man, that must have been the Hellstorms. I guess Rocco decided to push them because the Hellstorms were giving them damage. Well, 3 Hellstorm rocket batteries. Wow, that's a lot. And they're just spread all over the map. So interesting stuff here. But the cannon is not taking any damage. Oh, rear Pistolier is doing some nice stuff here. You got to spread these units out so you're not taking shots from both organ gun and cannon. Okay, I didn't see that there were two of them. Is he going to put them behind this this rock here? Maybe. No? Go in the woods? Or is he just going to pull them out of range? I would have just hid them behind the rock and see how long it would take for Roko to notice that he was shooting into a rock. That could have been fun. Over here we've got the Hellstorm rocket batteries. They're just blasting Dwarf Warriors for days, but they're not super high value infantry. Like, if they die, it's not the end of the world. And once these arrive here, they're going to kill everything. So Roko's making the right decisions here by pushing up this front line and going to get the Hellstorm rocket batteries, in my opinion. It is leaving his backline fairly weak, but the thing, even if the Pistoliers shoot these Giant Slayers, and they will net a ton of value by doing that, they have to kill every single unit model in order to get into the Organ Gun, and it takes so long to do that. And in the meantime, this Organ Gun is going to be shooting them, so it looks like this is an effective screen. I mean, Roko has enough to defend his backline, and probably still enough to beat up the Empire front line here. So going very wide with the Dwarf Warriors is, yeah, it's going to cause some problems. I think 3 Hellstorm rocket batteries is just too much. These Empire Knights needed to be active way earlier. They should have been disrupting, because again, you see the whole Dwarf line has arrived at the same time, and if he got in some cycle charges earlier, he could have broke things off. But maybe he's going to go for some rear charges now, so I guess better than nothing. Handgunners are going to shoot in at some Dwarf Warriors. Probably would have changed the formation of these spears so that there's more of a line of sight for these handgunners. Also would have put the handgunners off to the side so that it's not so close to the Hellstorm rocket batteries. But yeah, I don't know what the Hellstorms are shooting at. Cannons, yeah. Look at how many of these shots are missing. Like, that's really cost ineffective. That's why I say, like, a million times, but people still don't really seem to agree with that, is the Hellstorm is not meant for artillery duels, because I mean, even if he does disable this cannon, those Hellstorms cost so much money, and you're just disabling one cannon. The Dwarves are probably going to flee, come back, maybe reman the cannon, and like it's just not worth it. Balance bar dead even, but Dwarf Warriors are now into the shooting. These spears have screened, but see how the spears have screened? They've screened like evenly. That means that this unit of handgunners has nowhere to shoot. So that's why I think you just want to screen like half of the unit, and then you give a space for the other half of the unit to shoot in. So a little bit of a micro mistake there, in my opinion. Over here, this Hellstorm rocket battery is probably going to get eaten up by the Dwarf Warriors. It's a crazy game. Stuff's all over the map. Thanks for sending this, Roko. I'm loving this replay. Under my interest, is going to cut up these Dwarf Warriors. I don't know what Gelt has been up to. I guess he's just casting Transmutation on these Giant Slayers. Let's see, Balthazar Gelt. Yeah, he's got Final Transmutation, and that's it. But Dwarves have a way of not really caring about stuff like that. I mean, they do have magic resist. I think the better choice in a matchup against Dwarves, if I were going to play this matchup, is to bring Boris. Boris could have interrupted all of his infantry. Ungrim Iron Fist would have a hard time catching Boris. Boris would be resistant to cannon fire and other shooting, and he also debuffs melee attack, and Dwarves have shit for melee attack. They're kind of like undead factions in that sense. They're like undead with armor, sort of. But if you can debuff the melee attack, then the Dwarves are going to really struggle to get hits, and that's why I think Boris is the right choice in a fight against the Dwarves. I mean, you can make an argument for Volkmar or Franz or an Archlector as well. I don't see the value of Gelt because he's not going to snipe things out. I'm fast forward a bit here, but it's a shame because it's a really good game. But I just have so many other things to go over to. So it looks like the cannons have been finally depleted over here. The backline is getting sort of secured. Hellstorms do have a bit of ammo here. Ungrim's decided to peel back to his forces, maybe rally the troops here. Gels, I don't know how many more winds of magic he has. He's certainly punishing these Giant Slayers. Ooh, so this is good value. Putting the Hellstorm rocket batteries onto the Giant Slayers, I think, is much better value than shooting up the cannon and potentially also the organ gun. These guys are 1200, 1250, 300. I don't know. But they're not wearing any armor. Oh, look at the damage from the Hellstorm. So that is much better value. Surprisingly, the balance bar is not shifting though. I don't know why. To be honest, you'd think that killing all of those giant slayers would shift it, but it's been deadlocked for a long time. Wow, what a great replay. Uh, so yeah, more shots coming in here. In artillery games, I guess the fast forward button is very handy because it tends to be a little bit slow, but it's very tactical for sure. Piercing bolts, oh, interesting stuff. Did fuck all to that organ gun. Did you guys see that? Didn't disable a single, artillery piece. Didn't do any damage. What the fuck? Like, I mean, why are doors so resilient to magic? I mean, if that's the case, I mean, you might as well not even bring that spell. Save your winds of magic and cast another transmutation or buy some more troops. Like, I mean, against dwarfs, sometimes I'm tempted to just leave the magic at home. Honestly, vortex spells, I find them to be underwhelming. Uh, the only thing that is kind of good is death magic. I think if you spirit leech down their lords, that can be effective. But other than that, uh, I don't know. I sometimes you're better off just going wider. So giant slayers are going to cut up these spears. They're going to cut up the great swords pretty well, which I think is a little bit weird. I don't think that's really in the spirit of a giant slayer. I think they're a little too. I think their melee defense is too high, man. A melee defense of 30 does not seem like it's in the spirit of just shirts off, go in and slay some giants. That's the same melee defense as greatswords. It's the same. It's not as much as spearman, but it's still pretty high. Anyway, maybe it's okay. They are pretty expensive, and they're not wearing shirts. Hellstorm rocket battery crew is gone. So these dwarf warriors are cleared off the handgunners with the support of giant slayers, and really it's just there's no infantry for the Empire to finish the job. Like once the Hellstorms ran out of ammo, I mean they were shooting at giant slayers, but they just couldn't kill them all. And then once they ran out of ammo, it just turned into a sort of a staring competition where Empire was like, well, I guess I'll just go attack you then. But they had no way of killing the giant slayers. Cycle charging with Cav doesn't work against giant slayers, and that's all she wrote. But great game, fun to watch. Triple Hellstorm was innovative, but I don't think it was the right choice. You need stuff that can actually finish the dwarf warriors off. Your 3 great swords, probably just not enough of them, and I don't think Geld really did anything, to be perfectly honest. He didn't seem like the right choice in this matchup, even though he's a cool pick. Maybe go with Witch Hunter and handgunners, or I don't know. Like I said, I think Boris is really the way to go. Maybe crossbows and Witch Hunter could be an interesting choice because pretty cheap. They have decent range. Yeah, I don't know. On to the next one. Tank. We've got this one's Justice, Hermit. Oh, and myself. I'm in this one. Cool. Versus Beaver, Red Sai, and MR Defender. I know exactly which game this is. I think it's already featured on Beaver's channel if you want to go check out things from his perspective. I'm going to try and get through this one probably really quick because I'm losing my voice now. It's going to be a long video. All right. Chugga. All right, so we got Toothgrass Hill again. Over here, MR Defender, he's got Gorbel, Breeze Shaman, Wild, and Beast Lord somewhere here. I don't know where he is. Is it Kazarak? Yeah, Kazarak's Vanguard. And I think he can Vanguard. Yeah. And he's going to be getting gooned by Exalted Heroes, Chaos Lord, and these Hawk Riders and other things that can just shoot down at him from safety. So I think this is maybe a mistake MR Defender makes a few times. He doesn't bring any anti-air shooting. Also, if you don't bring anti-air shooting and you are going to get chipped down, you might as well just go balls deep and fucking attack with everything. There's no sense in kiting and falling back, in my opinion, because you can get picked away. But maybe he realized he needed the support of his allies who were not really in position. We sort of had a 3v1 had MR Defender taken that fight, so probably he did the right decision there. He's waiting for his allies to come around and rotate onto the flank. If they can get the full envelop, that could work to their favor because it denies us the ability to kite and shoot, which is very important for Wood Elves in Empire. If you lose map control, you lose shooting angles, you lose the ability to do that sort of thing. Over here, Kazarak is doing the moves like Jagger, I guess, just trying to dodge some shots, but certainly this shooting is going to be an issue. So these Marauder Horse men are being screened out by infantry. I think they're trying to shoot down these Minotaurs with shields. Not a terrible target over here. On this side, you're going to see the Dark Elves and myself get tied up. I'm playing the Empire. I do have Boris Todbringer on a Pegasus, just trying to be a nuisance. I wanted something that was fast enough to catch the Red Sai on the Vampire on the Dragon Mount to prevent it from cycle charging. Boris is good because he also has he has access to Foe Seeker. He also has access to certain speed debuffs, and I went with that. Look at this, -6 speed, the White Cloak of Ulrich. So I wanted to make sure that if this Lord landed, he was going to get stuck there and he wouldn't be able to just pull up into the air again and deny him the ability to just go where he wanted. I didn't custom build to deal with Dark Elves. I did not custom build to deal with Beastmen, so I was sort of relying on my allies to help with that. Over here, Boris Todbringer is going to get into it, try and get this Razorgore herd off of his off the shooting. The Dread Spears are going to get terrified, and Halberds are here. So Razorgore herd are just gone. The rest of the shooting is going to fall back and look for opportunities to square up. But you see, Red Sai is sprinting across here, as he should be, with his very slow units. Over here, Gorbel is getting shot down. Got Marauder Horsemen, all kinds of other crazy stuff going on. Justice is down here in the back line. He's diving into these Wild Rangers Minos and trying to take the casting and leadership off of the field for the Beastmen, and doing a pretty good job at it. I mean, I guess Kazarak's chipped down, but the biggest issue for Kazarak is really the shooting from the air. You can see the Hawk Riders, that damage is just adding up. Over here, what we're finding is I'm running out of resources to screen off this left flank, and these Graveguard and other things are starting to push into my back line. I've had to use my Demigryphs to tie up the Vargulf and to keep the Hydra honest, I guess. The Hydra, it looks like it's pulled back here because I did have the Demis on it originally here, but over here you got Witch Elves and Harganeth Executioners and the support of the Hellborn just cutting through the Halberds, and if we lose this front, it's going to be really tough for us because I'm certainly at my capacity here trying to deal with these vampire units. I do pop a Manticore summon. I try to just for fun build in this one. I brought two Amber Wizard casters, both with Manticore summons, because I wanted an answer to this flying Von Karstein Vamplord, and I know that vampires really struggle with dealing with large. And I was hoping that the combination of the Manticores plus Boris plus the Altars was going to be able to really deal with, well, basically give the vampires a lot of problems. And I was not wrong with that. I think it worked very effectively. The Von Karstein Vampire Lord hasn't been able to really get to anywhere where he wanted, and he's getting shot up like crazy from the crossbows and the handgunners. So he's certainly taxed with the micro having to go back and forth. It looks like Justice is going to try and get over here and go and take out the Von Karstein Vamplord, but oh no, he's going to go in on the Hydra. So 3 of these guys going in on Hydra. Over here we've got the dual casters. I think 2 life casters, probably not the right decision there, but maybe he was inspired by me bringing 2 Amber casters, so I can't really fault him for that. I think we really needed some spears over here to deal with these Cola Knights and the other stuff. Very nice pickup here by Beaver. Taking the Chaos Lord off of the field was certainly the right choice. Hydra, I mean, it's something you want to ignore as much as possible. I do see why Justice decided to dive there, but with the Cobalt Knights nearby, that was very dangerous position for him there. Ultimately, we ran out of front line. We didn't have anything that could have secured this, and had Justice not dove in, then the Hydra or the Cobalt Knights probably would have gotten into our shooting anyways. So it's not like we had too much of a choice here. I think these skirmishers, if anything, or Durthu, really needed to be in here anchoring this line. I think Beastmen were all but tattered. And we needed those resources here, I think, a little bit earlier. Over here, you're going to see the 2 Manticores going in after the Von Karstein Vamplord. He's not going to be able to kite, again, because of the presence of Boris. Had it just been the two Exalted Heroes, they would have been able to escape. But Boris plus them is going to give him a lot of problems. I do think that, I do have some rallied Free Company militia that are also going to shoot in, so I think Von Karstein Vamplord is going to die despite his best efforts. I would say that if you're going to bring the Exalted Heroes on a Manticore, I mean, you might as well just get regular Manticores. They're about half the price, and I said that's just before the game, but I think you just wanted to bring it for fun, and sometimes that's what people do. They just play the game for fun, so yeah, good on them. Looks like this Vamplord is going to crumble out and die. Bam, down he goes. Durthu is inactive, so I think he's got to be doing something. That's too much of an expensive unit to just be standing still. He's got to go fight the Hydra, or he's got to go in on the front line, but having an inactive Lord like that is really costly. It puts a lot of pressure on other things. But I know there's a lot going on here. Fair Manticore gets summoned. He's going to try and help out in this fight against this Hydra. We really were struggling to deal with this Hydra. It was kind of going wherever it wanted. We needed to try and break it off. Perhaps the Hawk Riders could have helped out a little bit here. I'm not too sure. We needed something to interrupt this infantry. So Red Sai, credit to him, even though he lost his Lord, like a lot of Vampire players would be like, okay, I lost my Lord, I'm done now. He's pushing up onto the flanks with these Graveguard and sticking with the program. And I just don't have the infantry to keep the screen. So because we lost so much map control, because we didn't take the whole map, right? We didn't spread across the entire field. We sort of like stacked towards the hill. Now we have no place to kite and shoot, right? Our only options are really here, and it's not fast enough. I'm sorry, it's not enough real estate. These Marauder Horsemasters, what I would need or what I would request is that they cycle charge and prevent the advance or disrupt the advance of these Graveguard. Granted, I do have some Demigryph Knights. I probably shouldn't be talking because I could have done the same with them. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff here that's just sitting back and being cool. We got Durthu and other things. And while that's happening, you're seeing that this front line is taking so much pressure. And we really needed to commit those resources earlier. So now we have Horsemasters charging into Skelly Spears. Not where they want to be, but I guess we needed to interrupt them or get them off the field. I don't know, so that we could get to the Dark Elf stuff. Over here, we're going to go into the corpse cart and just try and take that off the field, prevent them from healing. But there's some Witch Elves here, and this is a very dangerous situation whenever you're fighting with heroes near Witch Elves. I'm going to lose my two Amber Wizards. I think they were out of Winds of Magic or close to out of Winds of Magic here. Anyways, Durthu, there we go, finally kicking into action, doing some nice stuff here on the Skelly Spears and into the Sternsen. Over here, Sorceress of Death and Dreadlord are going to probably just snipe out the Exalted Heroes, so tough stuff there. Spellslinger of Life maybe could have been healing these Exalted Heroes. I don't know if there were any Winds of Magic left for the Wood Elves, but very far from the Exalted Heroes right now. Boris is in here just debuffing the melee attack of this Graveyard, trying to give this Wizard and Manticore a chance. I mean, if you look, this is down to a melee attack of only 15, but the Witch Elves, Sister Singing Doom, they don't give a shit. They still have probably 40 melee attacks, so they can certainly do a lot of damage there. Durthu is going to come over here and cleave through some stuff. Balance bar is starting to shift in the favor of the Druchi and Co. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. The problem is we ran out of infantry to sort of screen off some of their things. I'm going to try and kite and shoot a little bit spears. But over here, this front line, Durthu is going to go down. I don't know if there were heals again that could have helped out with Durthu, but a big flame attack there onto Durthu, Graveguard, and other things. Dreadlord are going to take their Durthu off the field. That is a very tough loss. I think Boris is gone. No, Boris still being a nuisance, the little fly in the sky. But yeah, I mean, there's just not enough left at this point. So I think yeah, I'm going to try and get in a little charge there on the Deathcaster. But that's army losses. So good game, well played, fun stuff there. If you guys are still with me on this marathon of community casts, props to you. You guys are fucking troopers. We're going to keep going. I think there's maybe one more. Oh my god, My voice is dead after this. Holy. What do we get to here? We got 1, 2, 3. 3 left? Alright. Yeah, we got 3 left. Alright. We can do this, Otter. Training for it. We got a tournament coming up end of September. Sorry, beginning of September. So that's going to be a 2v2 tournament. Hope you guys can tune in and join us on this. Oh, we got TMX Rollin versus Cool Rolkos. It looks like Rolko's been practicing and getting in some 1v1 play, and it certainly seems to be showing. I've played some games against Rolko lately, and he's gotten a lot better. In this case, looks like he probably forgot to deploy Ungram with the rest of his army, so that's a little bit awkward, unless this is a sneaky tactic that I didn't know about. I don't know what's going on here. Svigel's not with his army either. Do the players just agree before the match to just not deploy their lords with their armies? Probably they just like, I think I heard that they just wanted to have a duel. Yeah, I think I heard this. So they were going to have a Svigel versus Ungram duel. That's funny. But meanwhile, Gyrocopter's going to go in here and start shooting in on, what is this, Chosen with great weapons. So here's the thing. So the devil's in the details in the strategy game. You see how it's shooting? And it's shooting in a straight line, and the shot came in and it plowed through like what, 5, 6 of these Chosen. What he should have done, since there's no anti-air shooting and there was no reason to worry about getting in quick shots, is he should have rotated these gyro bombers onto the flank, right? And if they were shooting in at the Chosen with great weapons along the sides, they would, like, it's the same thing with a breath attack, right? If you shoot along the side, you're going to hit like, maybe 15, 20 unit models instead of like the 5 from shooting here. So devil's in the details. That's for sure what I would have done. Over here, yeah, duel's going down. Attack map, very important when you're going to see a duel. We're fast forwarding this. Ungram, Svigel, blah, 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 blah. Actually, I want to see some of these animations. Look at this. Svigel is knee deep in rock. Some awkward stuff going on there, but still looking good. Mohawks versus Sexy Boy. Svigel getting his ass kicked, but Ungram took some damage here too. Svigel's not a joke, but he doesn't have armor pen. And Ungram's got 120 armor, so that's, I mean, he does have armor pen. Like, I think people don't realize that there is still armor pen, right? He's got 180 armor pen, but it's not a lot. It's not like it's showing the symbol of armor pen like on Ungram. Here he's got like 285, so almost twice as much armor pen with Ungram. So he's gonna win that. But Svigel, he's cross country marathon boy, using that speed, showing how pretty he is as he runs away from Ungram like a little boy. Over here, oh, some bombs going off. Roko's just lacing into these Chosen. But the Chosen are very, very tanky. Oh, it looks like that one missed. Chosen are very tanky. That one connected. They're going to lose unit model here and there, but a lot of them are just going to take the shot and stand right back up. Cool to see the gyro bomber though. I don't think I've seen Roko take those before. Dwarfs are not, so if you're going to get charged here, you might as well. Dwarfs are terrible charge bombs, but still 12. You might as well charge them if you know you're gonna be fighting anyways. But I would have also tried to flank around. Like if you're the Dwarf player, there's no reason to keep these guys in reserve. You could have done a bait and switch. You could have shifted these Dwarf warriors back and then charged with these. You could have charged with these guys, or he could have rotated around, right, and use some of his numbers, because the Chaos Infantry is heavily outnumbered by the Dwarf Infantry, even though it's very high tier. If you can get some flank and rear charges in, that can help. But if you just sit like an onion here, the Chaos are going to grind through your front line, then they're going to grind through your second line, then they're going to grind through your third line. So, yeah, I'm going to fast forward here. There's not super tactical game. I think we kind of know what's going on. Probably just a goofing around between friends. But, yeah. Alright, so Chaos mulching through the front line. Svigel's going to probably pop some buffs here and support his troops and try and clear a little bit of space. Oh, Ungram just got to collapsed on. Gyro Bomber, it looks like he's trying to break Ungram free, but that is going to cost Roko an iron, or Gyro Bomber. Charge going in here on Svigel, but it's not going to do a whole lot. And Chaos Infantry just grinding down the doors, slowly but surely. Ungram had to run away. Yeah, this is probably just a silly game between friends, but a fun one. So Svigel is going to probably win the day here, but he's winning with the dirty tactics. He didn't stay in duel like like a noble dwarf, he dueled like a chaotic warrior of Slaanesh. So watch out for that sneaky little field. On to the next one. All right. Bang, 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 bang. We're making progress here. This is a super long cast. Oh my gosh. Trying to scroll down. There's a little bit of lag here. Sorry guys, bear with me. Got a lot of save game files that can sometimes cause some issues. All right. So, which one? We just did that one. We got 2 more left. 2 more. There's 3. Beaver, me, and Time Lord, I think, versus Justice, MR Defender, and Red Sai? Maybe? I love that. You see the faith etched in steel across the warrior priest? That's pretty cool. Pretty cool detail. All right. So what do we have here? We've got a super complex shooting formation. I am playing the High Elves, I believe, in this one. No. Am I? I don't know what I'm playing. We got Dark Elves. We got Malkith on the Chariot. Executioners. Witch Elves. Cold One Knights. I recognize that as Time Lord's build. Here we have Noble and Tyrion. I almost never bring Tyrion, so I'm going to assume that this is Beaver's build. And then I'm probably the Wood Elf. Glade Lord. I don't know. I guess I'm just going to snipe some things and push up. Yeah. Glade Lord, Branch Wraith, Waystalker? Probably that's me. I don't know. We'll find out afterwards. We got Shadow Warriors here. They're going to trade pretty well with these Night Runners. That's good stuff there. The Hellblaster Volley Gun is going to shoot in and mulch some infantry in the front here. On the far side, we're going to see the Chariots starting to cruise into action. They're going to have enough mass to plow through the spears without too much trouble. I think it's a good idea to, I guess, go into the spears. So I will say, if you're going to charge, usually you don't want to charge head first. You probably want to charge on the side and then bounce off, but if it's your thing, it's your thing. Over here, the Rat Ogres had a lot of time to respond to this Chariot, and probably should have, but I guess they're worried about these Cold One Knights, which would screen them in counter charge. They do have the Thunder shooting the Cold One Chariot, and that is going to be very, very punishing. What is going on over here? We got a Waystalker. Embarrassingly, no, he's being repositioned to shoot at something valuable, I think. The Glady, I don't know what she's shooting at right now. Couple units of Gladiator also shooting. They're a little bit balled up, probably not where they should be, but I guess taking off these Night Runners. Over here we have the spears coming up the left side, Star Dragon. Yeah, cool stuff. Hopefully that finds some value on the far side. We are getting some really nice flanking in here, putting that pressure onto the back line. The nice thing is that all of our armies pretty much hit at the same time. I probably could commit these War Dancers, but I didn't want to ball up too much on this front line in case there were some Vortex spells or things like that that could have got me. That said, no, it looks like I'm YOLOing it, going in there hard. They're cut up Cryomants and open some holes for us. Witch Elves are causing some issues things. Justice just used his Net of Amatoc on the Cold One Chariot. He's got 2 net of Amatoc casters. We do have a Warlord here, I think, from MR Defender. Warlord's not the most competitive pick. Everyone knows that, but sometimes people just bring it for fun because they get tired of Skrulk and they get Claw. Over here we've got the Jet Spears that probably should be moving up, but are not. Not sure why. These Grey Guard are just chipping stuff down. I think they probably should have been moving into cannon range, probably have busy with other stuff. Branch Wraith over here is going to drop some debuffs and other things. We do have Helm of Discord and Shield of Faith, so it looks like the Flagellants are trying to support this front line as much as possible. Blade Guard are inactive, probably a micro mistake from myself. I should probably swing them around or just get them fighting clan ats, something like that. Over here, we've got the High Elves. Nobility is being shot pretty hard by these Teeth Breakers. Maybe This dragon's going to be able to help, but there is a unit of Plague Moth summons going to try and screen off the spears. So as that's happening, the Shadow Warriors are shooting in. They're going to shoot into the backs of these Teethbreakers. But these Teethbreakers, do they have shields? I think so. No, they don't. I'm getting them confused with the sails. But they are going to be able to sneak away in perfect Skaven fashion. Look at these little goofy guys. We've got the Warlock Engineer in the front. Well, what's happening here is the clan rats that were in the front are starting to push through. There was maybe an overcommitment of resources to this back line. High Elves were able to chip off some of the fleeing units, and these nobles still alive and just causing some problems. So what you're seeing is the flanks are starting to get collapsed, and some of this artillery is not having a lot of range to shoot, and it's taking a lot of pressure. War Dancers are probably going to get in here on this Hellblaster Polygon and take that out of commission, get into the flame cannons. Already some batteries are being taken offline. Over here, the Dwarf Warrior and the Runesmith and the Rune Lord are securing that. And on the other side, the Half Archers are chipping with long beards. Probably not a good use of their ammo, in all honesty, but what can I say? Maybe if I were the High Elf player, I would consider even pushing the Longbeards in. The Lothran Sea Guard into melee. Just put some more pressure on that middle there. Flagellants. I would probably be shooting the Flagellants. You got a whole unit of Flagellants here, 3 units of Shadow Warriors. That's unarmored infantry. Probably a mistake there. Or shoot the Light Wizard. Actually, it looks like that's what they're going to do now. That's a good use of the ammo. The Longbeards not so much, but the Longbeards have been broken off, so maybe that's why they switch. Over here is the Star Dragon and Noble. Finally, they found a nice juicy target to go duel. Tyrion could probably help out with that too. Tyrion went to go kill the Warlord, so really nice pickup there. And that could start to shift the balance bar in our favor. Still dead even though. There's a lot of stuff that's broken off that's still intact. But front lines are getting pretty thin. You got Thunderers, Quarrelers, Miners, and a mix of other things. But we've got Harganeth Executioners into the area with the where the artillery is. Usually, if you're a Dwarf player, that's not something that you want to see, because as long as they're here, even if they're losing, they're preventing your batteries from being manned and shooting. Over here, the War Dancers, it looks like they're shooting up the Flagellants, the Tattersouls, the Galiga. It's not a bad use of their ammo. That's an unarmored, unbreakable unit, so okay. Over here, the Spears they can push up or they can go support on the flank. I don't know what I'm doing with that, if that's indeed me. The Glade Lord has gotten in here on the Rune Lord, so Waystalker plus Glade Lord are going to beat the snot out of the Glade Lord the Rune Lord on foot. There's a Runesmith who could have been coming over here to help out. There's also a Light Wizard who could have been coming over here to help out. And there's also a Warlock Engineer who could have been coming over to help out. So a 4v1 hero duel probably could have bailed out this Rune Lord, but they are coming over here, but it could be a little too late. Is this Glade Lord going to be able to put the final swing on him? Maybe not. He's taking a lot of arrow fire in the face and guns, so I don't know how much farther he's going to be able to chase in there without some sort of screen. Ooh, look at this. Very painful. Net of Amatok snaring all 3 heroes. That's from Justice, so definitely feeling the pain with this one, but I'm going to rush my spears and other things up ASAP to try and get them in here. A couple inactive units on the periphery here, so maybe it was a late night game. We're a little tired, but we certainly needed to be swinging those around. Of course, there's also a lot of high priority micro going on here to deal with the trying to keep my Glade Lord alive and so on. Very nice heal here. I don't know if that was from me or from someone else. Trying to keep him up, but in the end, to no avail. He drops. Runesmith is buffing the last bastion of defense, but if we can get the War Dancers into the shooting, that's going to change a lot of things. Over here, Tyrion's going to cut up the Runesmith, and we have a Noble in on the Plague Priest and Warlock Engineer. So I think the hero duel is going in our favor. Front line is collapsed. At this point, the balance bar is pretty far gone. You can see which way it's going. I'm going to fast forward, let you watch just another minute or two if you're still interested, and then we're going to hop on to the last and final match. My voice is like going right out the window. I will not be talking for the rest of the day. I promise. Sort of. Yeah, that's enough. You know how that game's going, but what a game! Very close against some pretty good. Oh, I was playing Dwarf in this one. Oh, okay. So yeah, I don't usually play Dwarf, so probably I was the weak link in that fight. Interesting. I think we just needed more summons, honestly, and more of a screen. Although My screen wasn't small. I had a lot of longbeards, I had a lot of miners. Meh. So good game to Beaver, Red Side, and Time Lord. Very well played. And I was wrong. Red Side was playing with the Chariots and the Dark Elves. So actually, I think Red Side and Time Lord played Dark Elves similarly with the Chariot Witch Elf combo. Alright, and now, last but not least, so many rats. This is a game featuring Time Lord, Tanker, Kringle versus Roko, Takano, and Hermit. I think Hermit was probably pretty new at the time of this game, so take that as you will. I could be wrong. It is hot as hell in here right now. By the way, I'm like sweating from my ankles, but I don't want to turn on my fan because it's gonna make the audio really bad. So yeah. All right, the marathon of replays almost done. In the back, some Squig Hoppers, Vanguarded, some more sneakiness over here. Orc Boys, we've got a heavy line of Savage Orcs, not Orc Boys, Azhag. I think this is Roko. Is Roko playing this? I don't know. I don't know what Roko's playing. Way too much artillery for this door. So, I mean, just looking at this, you can see right off the bat, there is no way you can possibly protect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units of artillery. Beyond that, it's not even deployed in the back. I mean, oh my god. I can't even count all the artillery with Doors Pride. It's insane. I've never seen so much artillery in my life. Is it 3 door armies? What am I watching? It's insane. Okay, I'm going to fast forward. Stuff is going to get shot. We're going to fast forward super quick here. Flame cannon offline. Just got sniped up by the Giselles. Actually, Giselles are pretty hard counters to artillery pieces. They seem to not take damage for some reason. And they seem to be able to just walk into range to artillery and just annihilate it. Like, look at this. They've taken out 2 artillery pieces already. In return, even though they're fighting like 6 artillery pieces versus 2 Giselles, they took out 2 and only lost 1 unit of Giselles. Like, that's very cost effective. Over here, Squig's getting into the artillery and just going absolutely wild, having a great time. This living the Squig dream. Doom Diver catapults, other things are advancing over here. You've got flame cannons pitching in on some goblins, I guess. I don't know why. Yeah. I don't know what's happening. This entire army is inactive for some reason. They certainly would probably need to be pushing up. Okay, there they go. They got the memo. They invited to the party. The wall gets procced, but again, look at way too early. I mean, I guess they can chain them because they have 3 orc players, but there's only, what, 1 unit of Nasky Skulkers in combat, and the rest of these units, they're just walking on their own in the dirt, not using that melee attack buff. So that's a complete waste of the WOG, in my opinion. I don't know who triggered it. Not pointing fingers. I'm just trying to say it how it is. There's a neutral commenter here. Over here, the Slayers. I'm going to get caught up by some Skulkers. It's going to be... Neither one of those units are really designed to fight each other, but I think should probably be cost efficient for the Skulkers. Just because, yeah, Slayers are going to take some damage there. We do have some chariot work going in here, disrupting some things. Backline is going to get smashed by just a huge army of Squig Hoppers. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Is this the brick guy that we started playing with? Because I know he likes his Squigs. That'd be really funny. Over here, we've got some goblins dancing around this to our screen. No, they changed their mind. They decided to go in and fight the miners. Interesting. Over here, these artillery are still free to shoot, but I don't know if there's a ton of high value things for them to shoot at. On this far side, Squig's going to get in some cycle charges. Warzeg, here we go, and his boys. Belgar Ironhammer is anchoring the front line, but like I said, this flank has nothing but artillery, so there was no hope of defending any of that. So that's going to collapse. These Dwarf Warriors are just sort of boxing in the corner here and letting their allies take the brunt of the damage. They'll do okay in their little fort here, but eventually I would think that their fort would get attacked once their allies are dead, and then they will also likely die from facing insurmountable numbers. But we shall see. Orcs are known for sometimes running away even when they do have the numbers advantage. Okay, over here, Squigs, are they, so if they reform ranks and get in here, yeah, there we go. They're gonna get in on the Grudge Star. I'm gonna start pulling this little box even tighter and start pulling some things out of position. So nice work there. Whoever was microing the Squigs, I think you were causing a lot of problems. You can see over here, there's another unit of Squigs that's cycle charging, doing some work. Aztec is kind of sitting pretty. I mean, if I had all this artillery, well, they're all Grudge Stars. No, there's not too much. Oh, there's 2 cannons. Yeah, I mean, maybe the cannons should be shooting at Aztec. I don't know what they're shooting at. There's a Lord here who's just sitting and looking pretty, doing not a whole lot. Balance bar is not conclusive, but starting to shade certainly in one direction. If it gets past this double sword, I'll probably call it. My money is on that the greenskins are going to win this battle, and actually, it looks like that's what the balance bar suggests. Again, because I think there's just not enough of a screen. Azhag is starting to feel adventurous. These Doom Flayers, now that the Dwarfen infantry has been tied up, are going to get into the back line, and yeah, I mean you can see how this is going. So I'm not gonna overlay with it, that one. My voice is dead, but thank you for watching some crazy community content. I hope you guys like this, and if I continue to receive so many videos, I'll probably have to just do it all in one batch, because otherwise I just don't have the time to do it, unfortunately. Peace to the Dark Clan. Love playing with you guys, always fun. If you guys are interested in joining the Dark Clan, you just watch this video. We're pretty active, we have a good time, and check us out. Take care, bye.